Everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to today's webinar. Usually you see Aniston, but today I'm filling in. So if you aren't familiar, I'm Alex. I'm the social media manager for Metricool. And of course, we're joined by Rachel, who is our US ambassador, and we love her so much.
I'm so excited to be here. Real fast, everybody say hi in the comments or the chat so we can see who is hanging out with us this morning because this is going to be a really juicy topic. I'm super excited about it.
Yes. I'm in Florida. So if you have any other Floridians here, please drop in the comments.
And of course, if you're from Minnesota, say what's up in the comments or the chat because I always love seeing fellow Minnesotans as well. Amazing. One quick question for everybody. Who here is already on TikTok? Drop a yes if you are. We're going to find out. And drop a yes if you seem to have run into the issue of continually getting capped at 100, 200, 300 views. It feels like you're kind of stuck or stagnant. It doesn't feel like anything moves. So frustrating, right? Totally. Are you excited about this, Alex? I'm so excited.
I'm so excited, yes, and I'm excited to learn all the things from you so that we can apply it to our own TikTok as well.
Yes. This will be great. Should we dive on in?
Yes,
Let's do
absolutely.
this. All right. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about some of the major reasons why you might be getting 100, 200, 300 views or less and getting kind of capped. And it doesn't feel like anything breaks through that plateau. And then we're going to talk about other ways to really break through that because I know how frustrating it is to feel stuck, to plateau. And by the end of today, by the way, I hope you guys are ready to take notes. Cool. You ready to take notes? Because we're going to dive into some of the big reasons, the little reasons, tactics, strategies, all of the ways to finally break through that plateau. So let's just dive on in. I'm going to share just a few of the major reasons why you're getting kind of plateaued or stuck at a certain number of views. So, are you guys ready for it? And by the way, if I share something that sounds right for you, drop the number of it that I identify in the chat. Okay. So, number one, it takes consistent posting to grow. Drop a one if you're like, oh, shoot, I think that one is me. Sometimes people will be like, Rachel, like, I don't know why I can't get more than this number of views. And I'm like, you're posting once a month and then all of a sudden posting for a week and then you ghost and people don't know whether or not they can expect you to be consistent. So drop a one if that is you. Number two, you either aren't using a hook or your hook isn't pulling people in. So if you don't know what a hook is, then drop a two. Go ahead and drop a two if you suspect that people are swiping within the first 3 seconds of your video and not paying attention to what it is that you're saying. Like they're not even getting to the meat and potatoes of your content. Drop a two if that's you. Number three, your content isn't keeping them watching after the initial intro, meaning people aren't actually getting to your engagement, your questions, your value, your stories, etc. Drop a three if that sounds like you. And number four, and this is an interesting one, it's a little bit newer, your videos aren't being indexed or categorized. And I'm going to explain this one as we go because you guys might be like, wait, what? What does that mean? A lot of people haven't heard of this. So I'm going to open TikTok. It might be loud because I was watching TikToks earlier today. Okay, I got it. If you go to one of your TikToks, across the very top of the screen is the search bar. And if it is not categorizing or indexing what your TikToks are about, then that's a good sign that TikTok doesn't know who to show your content to. So, for example, here's an example of one that was not categorized. This is trigger warning. This one's a little bit sad, but there's no categorization because I didn't optimize this one according to what I'm going to share with you guys because it was a real in the moment TikTok. But here's one. it categorized it as Trello because I'm talking about software. So drop a 4 if that's you. Who here that's new information for? You didn't realize that TikTok indexes or categorizes your content, because it's kind of a wild realization, right? Okay. So we're going to dive into some of the ways to really and truly transform people stopping on your content, paying attention to your content, engaging with your content. Sound good? So the first thing I'm going to share is all about your hook. Okay. Question for you. Which of these TikToks would you be more likely to watch? My grilled cheese sandwich recipe. That's number 1. My ultimate famous grilled cheese recipe that kids and adults love. That's number 2. Which one would you be more likely to watch? 1 or 2? You guys see the difference, right? Drop a big old yes in the comments if you see the difference between 1 and 2. It's pretty obvious when you see it like that, right? The majority of the time when I create a piece of content that doesn't perform, I can redo the exact same piece of content with a better hook. In fact, 90% of your work should be around making sure that the hook pulls people in. Who here already is learning something, because that was a very, very clear representation of exactly what you need to do to instantly increase spikes in viewership. Now, the thing that blows my mind is I actually follow a lot of other social media experts on TikTok, and many of them get stuck at less than 1,000 views per video. And I'll watch their content and say, wow, this is incredible information. This is so good. And they're just not getting the viewership because their hooks are lacking. Now, real fast, there's a big difference. Does anyone get nervous? Like, what if this seems too clickbaity? I don't know if you guys ever worry about this, but I don't like clickbait. Or at least let me rephrase that. I used to think I didn't like clickbait. And so I was like, I don't want to sound like too hypey with my hooks and then like let people down or anything like that. But there are 2 very big different categories. Yes, this is real live. If I say something's live, it's always going to be live. There's clickbait, and then there's bait and switch. So clickbait is the thing that gets the click. And if your content is actually valuable, emotional, packed full of tips or steps or a process, then that is not bait and switch. Bait and switch is something we've all seen where someone promises something, like sometimes they'll say like 27 celebrities that you didn't know died while filming movies, and then the thumbnail will be a celebrity that you absolutely love, and then you click through the list and you go through 27 pages and you're like, what the heck? That celebrity wasn't even in the list. That is bait and switch. Clickbait is just making a decision to be a fantastic marketer. If you believe in your message, if you believe in what you have to bring to this world, by the way, drop a yes if this is you. If you have something that can help others, whether it's educational, entertainment, full of empathy or emotion, or just to engage a community and build a community, then the single greatest thing you can do is work on your hooks. Now, there are 3 places for hooks. Are you guys taking notes? Okay. Are you guys taking notes? There are 3 places to put hooks on your TikToks. A lot of people think there's only 1, but there's actually 3. Cool? So this is going to take it to a new level. All right. So the very first hook is the first sentence that you say in your content. The first sentence that you say in your content. All right. Number 2 is the text that is written on screen. They may or may not be the same hook, by the way. If you start to pay attention to my content, I'm at the Mrs. Peterson on TikTok. This week's content is not hook-based content for a few different reasons, but you'll notice that what I say versus the text that's on screen are usually 2 completely different hooks. So we're doubling down on hooks there. And then sometimes a third place for hooks is actually the first line of your caption. Drop a yes if this is already super, super, super helpful. Okay. Now, the second thing I really want to talk about is when your content isn't keeping people watching. And we're going to talk, you can use all three, Crystal. Use one, two, or ideally all three. The more that you use, the better to pull people in. We're going to talk about the strategies in a moment to create better content, meaning following what has worked for others. I want you guys to drop this word in the chat: modeling. Modeling. Crystal, try them all. Try them all. The only way to learn is to try, but I am going to show you some ways to identify what has worked for other people. By caption, I do mean description. Yep, but most people call it the caption. And captioning your videos does not negatively impact this approach. Caption all your videos. Get as close to 100% as you can. All right, so modeling is the idea of getting inspired by other people's content, not stealing other people's content, but identifying what works for someone else and modeling it for yourself. Okay, so we're going to dive into the strategy for coming up with content ideas and even hook ideas by modeling what has worked for others. But I need to share one thing that is a tactic that really, really supports people in getting through those plateaus or barriers of views. Okay, most of us are still creating content, short form content, as though it were long form content. What I mean by that is there are long spaces. This would be an example of long form content. There are long spaces. There are long pauses. There's time to think. I'm slowly getting to some points. Does that make sense? This is long form content. In short form content, I want you to essentially see it as a trailer for everything else that you do. Drop an aha in the chat if this is clicking for you. When you create your TikToks, your Reels, your YouTube Shorts, you actually want to intentionally trim out all pauses, including and especially the pause at the very beginning of your video. This is actually called the millennial pause. The millennial pause, any millennials, millennials are up in the house. So we, by nature, when we hit record, we wait a half a second, and then we breathe to speak. And it's because we want to make sure that we don't miss anything. We want it to be captured, exactly what we're going to say. But in the culture of short form, you actually want the record to begin the second you're already talking. If you, by the way, who here has ever noticed this before on TikTok and you were like, I didn't realize this was intentional? Many creators, including myself, oftentimes will cut off or clip the beginning of their first word in their first sentence. And in between each sentence, there are words clipped because they're like, I don't want those pauses. I don't want to have the millennial pause in place, etc. Right, Alex?
Yes, I actually just did this yesterday on a TikTok that I posted. I cut off the very first second because there was way too long of a pause at the beginning of my video.
It's so wild because we don't think anything of it until you start to see the millennial pause in videos and realize it's very rare that the millennial pause works.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't really work. So I love that people are seeing this, right? So you just hit go. The thing about literally cut off the beginning of your word, that's okay. Because I want you guys to imagine if someone advertised a movie trailer and the movie trailer was 15 minutes long, you'd be like, what? Or if it took too long to get to the point, you're like, bored, next, next, next. It's just the highlights. It's just the gold. Another big thing, and I love that Bruce brought this up, your first words out of your mouth should be your first hook. It shouldn't be, "Hey, everybody, it's a beautiful day in Minnesota today. Hey, guys, I have a little bit of a stomach ache right now. Hey, guys, I was just thinking that maybe I would make this video," etc. Like, trim all of those off. Don't do it. Just start with your hook, okay? Those "Hey, everybody's" and welcomes are for a little bit of longer form content. Cool? Cool, cool, cool. Okay. Whew. Who's already getting some of the value that you needed? Who here already sees areas for improvement that you know will make a big difference pretty fast? Okay, beautiful. All right, so we're going to dive in. I almost want to change the order, but I'm not going to. When I say it takes consistent posting to grow, when you create consistent content like once a day for any platform, platforms love you. They reward you. You can even do this Monday through Friday and still take weekends off. But when you do that for several weeks without taking a break, the platform disproportionately rewards you almost 100% of the time, but especially when you're following the things that we're sharing about hooks and spaces and making sure that your content is on point. Consistent posting makes all the difference. A lot of people don't realize that I created so many pieces of content before stuff started taking off. There was a lot. There were a lot of crickets. There were a lot of plateau moments and points. And the only way to get through that is consistent posting. Drop a yes if you actually needed to hear this today. I've been on TikTok for I think 4 years now, and the first couple of years it didn't grow exponentially. So I hope that that serves who needs to hear it today. 30 days, consistent posting, especially following what we're sharing today, changes the game forever. Now, your videos being indexed or categorized, we're going to get into that a little bit when we talk about hashtags and SEO for TikTok. But we're going to talk about content ideas and hook ideas and how to get them. Who here has ever wanted to like come up with ideas for content that won't be flops without racking your brain, without hitting burnout of your mind, without sitting there and being like, I have no idea. I don't know anything. I came up with 3 ideas. Now I'm done. We're going to share with you guys how to actually utilize Metricool to research content ideas and hooks to model. Okay, so we're going to dive on in. Now, I use Metricool's. Let's go ahead and share my screen. I use Metricool's competitor analysis to support me with this process. And I'm going to use it specifically for Instagram Reels. And you can use those for TikToks as well. Okay, so I'm going to scroll on down. And here we go. Scroll all the way down. And by the way, in the analytics tab, team, can you guys share the info for Metricool? Metricool is my client, but I also use them for all of my clients. They are by far the best social media scheduler I've ever found. And I use them every single day, which is really, really fun. Okay, so I'm going to scroll all the way down and check this out. See this section right here, list of reels? You can look at all of your past pieces of content that you've shared and identify which ones were the top performers. That's one way to get new ideas for creating again. But even cooler than that is you can do competitor analysis. Now, I pulled up 4 people that are in my industry to kind of get an idea of what's working. Pro tip. You can also do this with other industries as well. So I will oftentimes like look at the fitness industry or the cooking industry to kind of get ideas for what's working. Another great one, one that I used to use that I can't use anymore is accounting because now it pulls up a whole different type of content. But I will use finance. And so I'll take what's working for them and model it for myself. Okay. So we're going to take a peek at Brock Johnson's Instagram Reels success. Okay. So we're going to pull up his data. And Alex, do you want to share a little bit about competitor analysis, the tool, and how that works, free versus paid?
Yes, absolutely. So with our competitor analysis, if you do have a free account, you can look up to 5 competitors, and then it'll bump up exponentially once you go into our premium accounts. But all you need to do is, as long as they have a professional account, you just have to type in their and it'll literally pull in all of their metrics like within a minute. And then from there, you can go ahead and compare. You can change the time and see like their top posts. We make it really easy for you to just look at any competitor that you'd like and compare and contrast.
It's amazing. So I'm going to scroll on down past the list of posts, and I actually want to look at his reels specifically because this is short form content. And I could pull up to 500, his 500 last IG reels. But instead, I'm just going to do 100 so that it doesn't take all day to load. Actually, it doesn't take that long, but you know what I'm saying. We're going to go ahead and sort these by, we can do it by likes, comments, interactions, or engagement rate. And I'm going to do based on likes for this one. Okay. So check this out. We can see the actual IG reel. I'm doing an experiment. Did you guys see that hook? I'm doing an experiment. That was brilliant. And that is pretty neat. Let's check out the next one. If you want more followers on Instagram, you guys like that one? If you want more followers on Instagram, you need to check out this hidden feature. Oh my gosh, pretty cool, right? But what this tells me is that this is a hot topic for people. So as much as I might think that people really, really want to learn about LinkedIn, and they really want to learn how to maximize their connections there, that's not necessarily what I'm going to find when I look at what content is performing best. Okay, so let's pull up another competitor. Drop a yes if you're like, dude, this is the coolest thing ever, because I think this is pretty powerful. Let's take a look at someone with a little more data. So Gary Vaynerchuk, let's go ahead and scroll on down to look at his reels. And I'm going to get ideas for hooks as well as content topics. Okay, so let's sort by likes. Let's go ahead and see. Ooh, that was a good one. Did you see that? Gen Z is not lazy. It's a controversial hook. It's really, really brilliant,
Mhm.
especially because he's trying to reach Gen Z. So you could put millennials aren't fill in the blank. Baby boomers aren't fill in the blank, and stand up for whatever generation it is that you want to reach. But what he's talking about here is some of like let's see real fast. Gary. He's talking about kind of like what people want to do with their careers, etc. So this is pretty neat. So we've got a good hook idea, and we've got potentially a content idea here as well. So let's take another peek. Let's see what this one looks like. Is anyone appreciating that we're walking through this like live so you can kind of see examples of how to use this to get hook ideas to model as well as content ideas? Who says this is going to change the game for me? He said, if you're not using AI, that is doubly powerful because AI is such a hot topic. But also, if you're not using spreadsheets to manage your agency, then what's the second line? You're making a huge mistake. Whew. If you're not using Metricool to do competitor analysis, you're missing out on a huge opportunity. Juicy?
Great.
Alex is like, yep, I'm doing that one. So they're really, really beautiful hooks. And then he teaches about AI. So we've got a content topic and a hook idea. So this is pretty cool. All right, who loves this? We can go ahead and pull my screen down for just a moment. Anyone love this? This is pretty neat, right? Okay. So that's how I get content ideas as well as also ideas for hooks. And did you guys see how I took the hooks but then modeled them for me so that it wasn't word for word the same? It wasn't plagiarism. It was similar, but no one would ever say like, oh, she definitely took that from Gary. I saw this almost word for word, you know? If you want a book on content modeling, or rather modeling versus stealing or plagiarizing, what I recommend is to get the book Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. It is fantastic. It's okay to use Reels data for this because I don't think there's an API integration that allows us to do competitor analysis for TikTok yet. So this is about as close as it gets. But also, you're able to hooks are timeless. And you'll notice that many of those topics were timeless topics as well. So since they're not trends, you won't be behind. People will always want to learn about how to get more Instagram followers until Instagram falls off. Yeah, all of those hooks still always work. Does that make sense? Okay, the next thing, I'm going to switch the order of hashtags and SEO for TikTok. Something that I also like to really do is so in my caption, or some people call it the description, I actually like to use the question that someone might ask in order to find that TikTok. So I would do the hook. Here's how to get more followers. And then how to get more followers on Instagram 2023. So the first portion of my caption or description in TikToks, this isn't always, but I do this quite a bit, is the juicy hook. And then we go into the kind of SEO style description of what that video is about. This really helps TikTok to categorize what your video is about versus if you put like a TikTok inside joke, they don't necessarily know how to categorize it. Like, do you or do you not feel bonita?
Or bombastic side eye things
Yes.
like
TikTok doesn't know how to categorize your content or index your content if it's not clear exactly what it's about. So I love to utilize kind of like SEO, search engine optimization, light for TikTok. But Metricool actually has an amazing tool for this. And Alex, I'm going to go ahead and let you share a little bit about that. The book is Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. All right, Alex, you want to take it away?
Yep. Okay. I'm pulling up my TikTok screen here. So you can find this similar to where Rachel was in the analytics section, but we're going to go to the TikTok panel and you're going to scroll all the way down to where you get your list of videos. Now, this is going to be really important because we found that a lot of people don't see the SEO metrics unless you have them toggled on. So you need to go to columns and make sure that all of these bottom are toggled on. So you'll want to toggle on total time watch, for you, follow, hashtag sound, all of those because they won't automatically turn on. Once you have that, you'll see that you can scroll over to the right on the list of your top videos, and you'll start to see by percentages how SEO is working for you and where your video traffic is coming from. For example, this video in particular, 87.5% of it came from the For You, but 5.3 came from our profile and 1.1% came from search. So this search is going to be really important for you to see if your SEO is working. This is going to go up if your video is being searched for those terms. So for example, this one is afraid of losing your trending sounds on IG if you have a professional account. That one is 48.84% on the search terms because people are looking that up. They're wanting to see, what way that you can keep, your creator sounds on a professional account so that you can post using third-party platforms. Using this is going to be super helpful for you when you are, conducting your TikTok strategy, when you are using, all those valuable hook strategy that Rachel gave. You'll want to kind of use this with that, and you should see your video start to do really well.
Love it so much. Isn't that cool, you guys? I want to answer this question real fast for Holly. How can you get TikTok to categorize your videos if you're a comedian making comedy sketches? Follow exactly what I just shared. So when your boyfriend breaks up with you, when your baby won't sleep, you want to actually not focus making your caption description and hashtags about hashtag comedy, hashtag humor. Though you can add a couple of those, what you want to do is you actually want it to reach the people who deal with those struggles. So when I'm having a bad hair day, when when all my reports are due and I'm out of Adderall, like those types of things. So you want to straight up still tap into SEO in order to reach the masses who are dealing with those types of things, and then maybe sometimes have a couple hashtags related to humor or comedy. Okay, next we're going to dive into hashtags. And I am a huge fan of these. In case anyone's like, what is it that she's saying? I'm saying hashtag. I think everybody else says tag. I say hashtag because I'm from Minnesota. We say big, we say reg, we say, you get the point. But I'm going to show you guys that there is actually a fantastic tool for doing hashtag research inside of Metricool, which is amazing. And this is a really great way when you kind of can't think of any other hashtags, or you don't want to use just like the basic hashtags. So we're going to go ahead and go to create new post, and we've got TikTok selected. Now, before I even add anything, because I don't need to add anything, I'm not actually scheduling something right now, we're going to click on this hashtag thing right here. And it just takes a minute or two to load, not even a full minute. But the first time you use it, like in each session, it just takes a minute. And then I'm going to search for like the big, broad hashtags that I would want to use. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and type in, let's say I want to reach business owner. I can see how many uses there are of that hashtag, but I can also use slightly more niche down ones if I want. So if I'm like business owners are just a little too broad, business owner check, business owner tips, business owner life, it pulls up tons of awesome hashtag ideas. And that works, by the way, for both TikTok and Instagram. Now, an important note, when you're creating your content, you kind of want to create the content and the hashtags based on who it is you want to reach. So if I were creating a sketch about how hard it is to be a new mom, I would put new mom and then see what comes up from there based on uses. So like new mom life, that would be a fantastic one for a comedy sketch about being a new mom. But it kind of helps you to see different ways to use hashtags. Anything else you want to add there, Alex, when it comes to hashtags?
Yes. So with our free plan, you'll only get all of the generic hashtags, like the most used, but our premium plans, you'll get full access to both the Instagram and TikTok hashtag search engine. And it will categorize it by the uses. So it should populate right away. Even if it is loading, sometimes you can still type in and it'll start looking for that search term that you're looking up.
I love it so much. Okay, the next thing that I want to share with you guys, and this is a really helpful one, is sometimes TikTok doesn't necessarily know how to categorize. We can pull my screen down. TikTok doesn't necessarily know how to categorize who we are as creators, and we can make it easier by making sure that there are specific words that describe what it is that we do. Now, this is interesting because it's not just TikTok that struggles with knowing what it is that we do. I will look at people's profiles a lot when I'm trying to decide if I want to follow them or not. And sometimes it'll say like multi-passionate preneur who loves all things art, business, nature, and hair. And I'm like, I have no idea if you're going to serve me the type of content that I'm looking for. I liked your one video, but I don't know. I really don't know if this is gonna be, I don't know if this is gonna be a long-term relationship. So it's interesting because I want you to think of a few words that clearly describe what it is that you do. So go ahead and drop them in the comments or chats, okay? Because we're turning it back on you right now. This is really, really important. For example, I'm a social media strategist. I know I'm due for a bio optimization process. I am so due for a bio optimization process again. But let's see what you guys do. menopause specialist. See, that's fantastic too, because if someone searches for menopause, you're more likely to show up when they go to profiles. That's fantastic. Marketing for hair extensions, that is clear. Affiliate marketing mentor, that's really good. Doctor, amazing. Weight loss and emotional eating. Add one more word to that, or else it just sounds like you are about weight loss and emotional eating versus being the expert on how to handle it. Comedian, so good. Glamping, Web3, crypto, repurposed long form content. So good. Okay, so you want to make sure that these words are actually in your bio so that when people are searching for you, they can find you because people actually do search. They'll like look up Pinterest expert, they'll look up social media strategist, they'll look up marketing agency, and that's how they search for people. And you want to make it easy for people to find you, especially specifically people who are looking for what it is that you offer. But also, you want to make it easy for TikTok to categorize what it is that you do and kind of give them an umbrella of like, this is what my content types are going to be. Okay, there's another thing. I'm going to let you take this part, Alex. You once drop a yes or a no in the chat. Hannah, that one might confuse me a little bit, just being super honest, unless you put like things between it. But it would be a little bit confusing. You can be all those things. I just want to be super, super, super clear. Make sure then too that they're in order of what you want to be found for. Okay. Drop a yes or a no in the chat. Do you have access to a link in your bio yet or not? Because if you do not want to bring people to just one link. I have different strategies for hashtags, and I'm not going to go in depth into them today, but I'll be sharing some of them probably next week. That's a whole nother rabbit hole. So, when you bring people to just one place and it's an offer, you lose a lot of people. Warning with Linktree. Linktree shows up as a dangerous website for people who want to click through. Okay, so just keep that one in mind specifically for Linktree. So every time that they click, they're like warned. There's like a little warning sign. I used to use Linktree. Yep. So we're going to go ahead and share a tool that you can use to have many links in your bio. And the cool part is that you can create one menu and then duplicate it for different social media platforms, and then also alter it for each and every social media platform. So take it away, Alex.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. So this is Metricool Smart Links. So it is kind of like an all-in-one link and bio tool. So similar to how Rachel was saying, you can have multiple. So we do have, and then I'll show you an example. So ours is right here on the right-hand side, and this is specifically for Instagram. But I'm actually going to go to our TikTok one so that you can see kind of how we customize them a little bit differently. And you can see right here, our webinar that we're currently hosting right now is right at the top. And we make it super easy so that you can, drag and drop and change the order of the links that you want. So for example, if you want to drive traffic to your website first, and that's what you want people to see, that can be at the top, or it can be, a live webinar, a blog, basically anything that you want to drive traffic to. You can customize it by colors, you can add your logo, and you can make multiple smart links for whatever social media platform you are on. So for example, our Pinterest one is a little bit more simple. It just mainly has direct links to like our YouTube channel, our blogs, our studies, whereas we use TikTok and Instagram to get a little bit more in depth with like webinars like the one today. And our smart links are free. On our free plan, you can have one smart link, and then with our premium plans, you bump up and you can have multiple. So for example, for TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, and you get all of those nice customization features as well. It's a really nice way to have all of your your important links in one spot. And with those customization features, you can make it, really appealing to the eye and add your logo and, give it that nice personalized touch.
Pretty cool. Amazing. All right. And do you want to just share the difference for Smart Links when it's free versus premium?
Yes. So on the free one, you would only be able to create one smart link. So you could have multiple links in that smart link, but you would only be able to have one. So, for example, you wouldn't be able to have the TikTok specific one, the Instagram specific one, and the Pinterest specific one. And then with premium, you'll get access to multiple, so you can make as many as you'd like. And then you would get more customization features once you bump up to premium as well. And you can also do things like add media. So, for example, with our Instagram one, let me pull that up. If you go all the way to the bottom, you'll see that we have certain posts that we also want to drive to, and these directly take us to Instagram. So you get all of those nice added features in once you bump up to premium. But if you do just want to test and play around with it, the free plan does offer you that one smart link, and you can go ahead and see how it'll work for you. And you can also track the analytics on it, which is also a really nice feature. So if you just scroll over to the analytics section, it'll tell you how many visits you've had, how many times the image has been clicked, and the buttons have been clicked. And then you can also change and toggle that time frame and see, the evolution of how your links are doing.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Who's excited about everything that you have learned today? This is fantastic. Now we have a code if you guys want to try Metricool Premium for free. I have one for you. It is Rachel, and you get Metricool Premium for free for 30 days. I do not make anything from you doing that. They're my client, so we just have this benefit for you guys, which is pretty cool. And then that way you can dive in, start doing research, start checking out different hashtags and all of the above. Anything else you want to cover today, Alex?
I don't think so. I think we covered everything. Make sure to use Rachel's code and try out all of our premium plan features. We're always adding new things to both the free and the premium plan. So it's really beneficial if you have been trying to figure out if you want to convert from free to premium. Go ahead and use those 30 days to test things out.
Who's going to implement everything that we talked about today and break through that plateau? Who's going to be the first one to break through the plateau of views? Drop a yes if it's you. And if it is actually you, feel free to send me a message on Instagram because I'd love to track your progress, see how you guys do. Who's it going to be? I'm at the Mrs. Peterson on Instagram, so you can send me a message there. But we're going to be really excited to see all of you guys just breaking through that plateau. Do not walk, run to implementing everything that we've shared today. Cool. All right. Thanks everyone so much for hanging out today.
Thank you
We'll
so
see you all
much.
soon. Bye.
Bye.